Why the fuck can I see? Yeah, I got it on. Okay. Last unboxing of the year. So, got a package here. We all know what these packages are, don't we? So, let's open it up. See what we have. Hi, Tomo. Anyways, we'll cut along this seam here. Oh, and for those of you who have been nice enough to comment on my community posts, thank you. And anybody who's actually seen them, none of those are staged. She actually, that's why I'm doing those. When you're trying to do the dishes, trying to eat dinner, she does that all the time. Some people say cats can't love like a dog. Oh, bullshit. You haven't met my cat. She's crazy. She follows me everywhere in the house. I can't even shave unless I close the bathroom door, because she's like right there. So let's see here. Okay, we're almost there. This is a very long box. A very long box. In fact, I'll show you how long. So what is it? And Grateful Ronin, he tries to save these because, you know, if you want to ship it off to another sword reviewer, you have this and whatnot, which is not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all. So, let me make sure I have everything out of here, which I do. So I'm going to... Oh, sorry, Harley. Got another cat. Here. Just plain black sword bag, which is fine. Are you... Yeah. Cats. And plastic. Just don't mix very well. Okay. So, this review is going to go a little different. We're going to start with the blade first, before we do anything. After I get the handle unwrapped. Oh, they got this on here pretty good. Dang. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to use a knife. Unfortunately, which I don't like doing on this, because you can accidentally cut your Edo, and that would be like all bad. Yeah, this damn thing is... Okay. Got it. Got it. Alright. So we don't need this no more. Alright. So, let's start with the blade. Yeah, as always, I forgot something to wipe the blade down with. Thought I had everything. Hang on. Magic as always. Let's get this blade wiped down. Ugh. There's like a ton of oil on that. Now it's like all over my hands. Damn. They really oiled this thing up. Really, really good. I mean, it's just slathered in this stuff. Okay. Be right back. Okay. That didn't take long. Had so much oil built up on my index finger, it wasn't even funny. I mean, they had tons of oil on this thing. Okay, so still more on it. It's always a good thing. That way you know this sucker wasn't going to rust. I'll tell you that much. Holy crap. All right. So, we have here a 1095. Can I see that Hamon there? Unibakai Zakuri with an Okisaki. Okay. She's got a nice edge on it too. Now the Saya, it has a pretty good Koriguchi cutout. People say this is shoestring material for this Eigo. It's basically the Ito wrap that they use. It's the reason why they do that is they're trying to save money. Hanbon gives you the choice, so that's kind of nice. And of course, Shitadums are just sat in there because I can move them. That's typical. And it's just nothing really fancy. It's just a matte black. Now, what makes this sword different from this sword, which is my other Unibakai Zakuri from Hanbon. This is 1095 through hardened. The difference is this sword. Okay, let me get the sheath on, or the saya. Let me get that back on there. Is a little different. First off, it's got the Musashi double ring. It is iron. The Fuchi and the Kasha are alloy metals. Now, here's what makes this so different. This is not an Uchi katana. This, here's the handle, still going. Still going. There's the end. And the Kasha is just plain, and it's tight. So what makes this different? Like I said, this is not an Uchi katana. This, right here, is a Nagamaki. Now, you'll see these on Hanbon, everybody, all other places, put down as a Naginata. These are not a Naginata. Okay? Naginata is a polearm. Even though it is considered a katana because it has a sword blade basically on the end of it. It doesn't have real ray skin. It's got that rubber stuff. I knew that when I ordered it. Okay. The handle, if you look at it, has a nice curvature going up this way. So it goes with the blade. It's not straight. Okay. Nagamakis, there is, unlike Uchikatanas, Wagasashis, and Tontos have kind of a set standard, even though you could make the blade longer or wider, which makes it an O. This right here, Nagamakis, you can make the blade as long as you want. You can make the handle as long as you want. The difference is, whatever length the blade is, you want the handle to be almost as equal to it. It doesn't have to be exact length. Musashi, sword makers, actually make a Nagamaki that has a 30-inch handle with a 28-inch blade. People have a hard time with these, trying to cut, because you don't use it like a Nuchi katana. They're totally different. Some people say they derive from the Naginata, or the Naginata derived from these. Time periods, I got some notes here. The Naginata first appeared between 1150 and 1159 in writings. So that's when they first knew Naginata exist, really. When the Kamakura period came around, they were recording from 1192 to 1333 is when the Nagamaki was mentioned. So they think they were possibly thinking it was produced during the Henya period, 794 to 1185, but there's no proof of that, nor any historical swords found from that time period of the Nagamaki. So it's kind of likely it was during that time, 1192, all the way up to the Muromachi period, which 1336 to 1573, it really reached its peak of usage. Word has it the famous warlord Usagi Kenshin had a regiment of retainers who carried nothing but a Nagamaki. What makes the Nagamaki so different? Well, first off, like I said, it has no set standard. So you can make the blade 30 inches long if you want to, 35 inches long. Make the handle the same, 30 inches long. Does that make it a Nodachi? Not really, because a Nodachi has a 15-inch handle with a 35-inch blade. The Nagamaki, like I said, the handle kind of equals out the blade. A Nodachi doesn't do that. So the reason why people have a hard time using these is because if you watch Skullagram, he actually did a review on the Musashi one. It has a 30-inch blade. He was like, how in the hell do you use these? So foot soldiers, low-ranking samurai, would use these on the battlefield. They were used, and I always make people known, we do not endorse animal cruelty at all. So don't think we do. It's just a fact. They would use these to chop off the front legs of horses and of other soldiers. I know it's a really kind of horrible thing, but it happened. Even in Europe, it did. You do not use the Nagamaki one-handed. You probably could, but you don't. You always use two hands. One hand goes right here. One hand goes right here. Kind of like on a katana. But you don't move them. These hands stay stationary at all times. You don't move it up. You don't move it down. Not like on a naginata or like on a katana where you can slip this hand down or move your hand up. They always stay like this. And the reason being is it's going to give you enough leverage for your cut. That's the whole point. Hence, like a 30-inch handle, it'd be the same way, except this hand would be right here, and then this hand would be way down there. So you don't move your hands. Funny enough, though, Nagamaki wasn't intended for foot soldiers, actually. I had to do a lot of digging on this, and I found it in one of our books that we just got at the used bookstore. This was actually designed for horseback. That's what the Nagamaki originally was designed for. But over the years, when you get to the Muromachi period, the 1500s and all that, they weren't doing battles that much on horses. I mean, they did, but it wasn't as prevalent as in the past, in the Heian period. So it switched up and went to foot soldiers. But this was originally designed to be used on horseback, and you would still use two hands. And what the rider would do is, of course, they would pinch the side of the horses with their legs to steer it, and they would stand up in their stirrups. So as they were riding, and they would lean either left or right. And as they were riding, they would come along and cut down on their enemies. And then switch sides and do the same thing. So that's originally what the Nagamaki was designed for. But as time went on, they had to switch up their tactics, of course. So this is going to be a really fun thing to use. The world's record for cutting the most tatami mats in a single cut is 27, and a Nagamaki was used. So that's pretty impressive. What's really impressive, too, is this back of this Nagamaki. It's got that diamond shape. Really nice reinforced diamond there. And the Edo wrapping on this, I can move some around, but not horribly bad. You know, so, like this side you can kind of move some. But the Edo wrap, like that one right there, I can kind of move. The Edo wrap is really good. And the handle is shaped pretty nice. It swells right here and then thins down to the base. So you get a nice good grip on it. So this sword, though, is from Hero Swords. If you haven't seen my review of the Wakizashi from them, go check it out. That's also a 1095. It's a through-hardened Wakizashi. That thing will cut through anything, and it holds an edge really, really good. I only had one problem with the battle wrap on it, and it was the Manuki was coming loose inside the wrap. It's phony leather. It's faux leather. Other than that, everything is tight. Everything on this, super tight. Super tight. Now, I've seen, like I said, most places will call this a naginata. It's not a naginata. Some places, though, that make a nagamaki, they're really, really expensive. Like, I think the Musashi one is over $300. I think it's a little overpriced. I understand it has a 30-inch handle on it, but it's only $10.45. It's over $300. This is a $10.95 differentially hardened blade. So, and it's very, very nice. And it is very, very straight. I mean, I'm looking right through here, and I can see right down that, and I can see that diamond down there. I've seen another company who made a Nagamaki. It was over $700. And I do believe, this is my personal feeling, it's a little overpriced. You know, because I don't see it being that fancy. So there's different prices out there. What's the price on this guy? $10.95, differentially hardened. Aransuba. Yeah, the Fuchi and the Kochra are alloy. Brass Habaki. $176 for this. Now, most people would go, well, let's see if it falls out of the saya. I guarantee you if I grab the saya, this is going to fall out because this has got a really long handle. Well, not too bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to shake it really, really hard. Now, unlike the Nodachi, don't wear this on your back because it would do that. And then it would fall out. So you could wear it in an obi belt. It's probably not the most ideal thing. They may have, haven't seen that they actually wore them in their belts. They may have carried them. Because, I mean, you have this handle sticking way out here that you have to draw. So let's see where point of balance is on this thing. It's kind of tricky on this guy. Point of balance right around in there, real close to the habaki. That's like 2.5 inches. That's not bad. Because this blade, there's hardly any front heaviness. It's mainly in the handle. The heaviness is mainly in the handle of this thing. So this is a beast of a sword. And from what I've read, and I've actually watched some videos online, people using Nagamakis, like I said, you do not move your hands. They stay like this when you cut with one of these. And the reason being is you're getting that full leverage out of it. That's why. If you cut one-handed, you're not going to get that leverage out of it. This is definitely always a two-hander. And I will say, I mean, they did a nice job on this because if you look at the Fuchi, let me turn this light on if I can reach it. There we go. Ah, a little too bright. But look at that transition right there. There's no ledge. No nothing on that whatsoever. I mean, it is a nice transition. Yeah, it doesn't have real Samigawa. That's where they cut the costs so they can keep the price down. You know, but you're paying for this differentially hardened Unabakai blade that looks very nice. It's got a nice polish on it. Is it a high-end polish? No, not at all. But man, this thing has got an edge like you wouldn't believe. Now I have that light on. Might be too much glare. There you go. You kind of see that Hamon line. It's like a ghost Hamon line. But let's see how sharp it really is. Shall we? Make sure I'm only getting one piece of paper here. There we go. All right, let's see. Ugh, stupid handle. Oh, dang. Look at that. That thing's dangerous. This would probably cut really well. So, I'm definitely going to try the challenge of cut 20 bottles in one swipe with this. So we'll see if I can do it. But do I think it's worth the 176 for this? Yeah, I do. Very much so. If you're into wanting to collect kind of traditional, you know, or historical weapons from Japan, and you want something different for your collection, Nagamaki. This Nagamaki is nice. I mean, it even feels in the hands. The ska feels really good in the hands. It really does. Or if you want to have one custom made, you know, now you know what to do. Because this is a 28-inch blade with almost a 16-inch handle. It's like 15 3/4. So, and you could always have the handle made. It could be 20 inches long. It doesn't matter. You know, it's just got to balance itself out. So if you have a 28-inch blade, you could go 24 inches on the handle. Almost to 16 is perfectly fine. I mean, that's at 2.5 inches on the point of balance for this. This, besides my Wagasashis, because I have some Wagasashis that are that close on the point on the balance, I think this is the only longsword or katana you could say that is that close to the Tsuba. That's impressive. That really is. Sorry, I'll have to get that later. It doesn't have that much of a sorry to it, but it's got one. I can see why they use these for foot soldiers. From what I understand, these things were devastating on the battlefield, especially if you were on horse. And if you're a foot soldier going up against, because you can basically parry with this against a Tachi easily. Because of the leverage that you're getting out of your swing, it just would be devastating to the person who was on the receiving end of it. So, and yeah, there's 3 basically weapons that have an uchi katana, or excuse me, Unubakai Zakuri to it. The uchi katana, which that's what this is. This is an uchi katana. It's got an 11-inch handle. The naginata, which is in our room. That's my wife's. And the nagamaki. So there's actually 3 weapons in Japanese history that use the Unubakai for its geometry. And it's pretty much because it's such a prolific cutter, it just goes through anything because of that thinned out back. So stay tuned for a cutting video coming up. Don't know when that'll be. And catch y'all later.